you can send it to iWeb. But what's quite handy is to send it to iPhoto, because then you can use it in a movie. So if we go to File and Export, you can see all these different options come up. And probably the best thing for me at this moment, I've saved it as something I want to print, but I'm also going to export it to iPhoto. You can choose the quality, number of dots per inch, you can choose what format you want it, but pretty much leave everything it is. And now it's exported, which means that when I use iPhoto I can pick it up and use it in other sorts of things. I can use it in other documents. One last thing that you might consider when you're exporting it is how you want to print it. So you can see iPhoto is opened immediately because that's where I've sent it, and it's got its own little album. Anyway, let's go back to Comic Life. The last thing you might want to do is print it. Now if you're lucky enough to have a printer that you can plug it straight into, that's great, but often you've got a network printer that isn't networked for the Mac, so you might want to save it to a memory stick. The printer that you're using, or the computer it's connected to, might not have Comic Life, so the best thing to do is to save it as a PDF, which means it will print on virtually any machine. The best way to do that, go File, Print, and you've got a little PDF box there, and you can save it as a PDF. So we can call it Comic Life Demo, and we'll put it in the new media proposal again. We could look for other places, but we'll leave it there, and I can just give it its title there again. And save it. So now I can drop that onto a memory stick and print it on any computer that's got Adobe, which is most computers, I'd hope. Last thing that we might want to do is just think about how we might use comics in films. Now, if we go to make a new one, we've got some choices about the format that we create our comic in. So if we go to File and Page Format, you might want to do it A4 and print it, or you might want to try and think of other sizes. So it might be smaller to fit on a blog. It could be to go on a particular letter or tabloid format. We're actually going to go down to video, and if we choose video 16:9, which is the proportions of a widescreen film, we can then put that in as a still image in a film. So we can have a mixture of film and signing and voiceover and cartoons. So say for example we wanted a slide of pipes for our story about the plumber. We could drag that picture in and we can make it bigger, and you can see it's going to arrive at the film in the proportions of the TV square. So there'll be 16 across the bottom by 9 up the top. So to export it so that we can pick it up in iMovie, which will make more sense later, stick with me, just go to File and Export to iPhoto. Again, give it a name, so Pipes Slide, and we can export it. And again, iPhoto will open up because it's recognizing you've sent one thing from one program to another program. And there it is, and it's got its folder. So just finally, to demonstrate how that might be useful, if we now open iMovie, which is the filmmaking program we'll look at, you'll see that it's really simple to put slides from comics or pages from comics and use them to support and adorn the film that you're making. So if I go to Project Library and make a new one, and I'm going to call it Help with Comic, you can see at the bottom I've got a film with the story that we're working on. Now maybe at some point I want to put a page of the comic in. So say for example I find the clip where Dad's talking about being a plumber. So we've got that clip there. Don't worry, all this will become clearer later. We can put that there, but now I want to put my image of the pipe before it. So I click on the little camera icon, and you can see because it's the last import, it's right there for me, and I can drag it in. So you can put images and comics to become part of a film. Okay, hope all that makes sense. It's very straightforward, very easy, and very child-centered. So I hope it works for you.